of the people that buy products today are looking online for those products, doing some kind of research online. I don't know about yourselves, but how many of you used the Yellow Pages, the hard book Yellow Pages in the last couple of years? I mean, once in a while people use it, very rarely. So Google has taken over for Yellow Pages. Yellow Pages is going online. They're just one of many, though. Yellow Pages is one of many directories out there online. The next thing is that you can put all sorts of information on these listings. So what Google serves up is your name and your address and your phone number, and that's about it. And the fact that maybe you're a plumber or whatever business you're in. But you can go in there and put all sorts of information in there to get found better. So we'll talk about that. You can add, if you're in the business of adding, if you have coupons, you can add coupons in there. You can go in and make sure that the address is correct in Google Maps, because this is all tied to Google Maps, so when somebody's looking up directions for your facility, you want to make sure that's all accurate. And you can see, they have analytics, so when you get a Google Places account for free, they'll show you analytics. They'll show you what people are using to find you. So recently in my, I made a change on my Google Places, and I'm not typically found locally. So when you put in marketing consultant, that may or may not be a local person. It's not like a plumber. You'd want somebody local. For marketing consultant, typically, that spans a wider area. So I might not show up in these listings for Google Places, and other marketing consultants might not show up. It might just be other results that show up. But the point I want to make is that I put Facebook in, I changed my category to Facebook, and all of a sudden I got all these people looking at my website just because I put in that one of the categories, which I'll show you in Google Places. You can put different categories of what you do. I put Facebook in there, and everybody, Facebook is going crazy right now. As everybody knows, there's 600 million people on Facebook. And the average person on Facebook is spending more than an hour and a half a day on Facebook. So it's amazing that that's a great site.
Hour and a half?
An hour and a half. Some kids are spending 5-6 hours a day. I mean, even my wife, I think, spends more than that. She didn't use a computer 3 years ago.
So you can track. So when you go on your,
I can see that people are.
How many hits you've had?
For Facebook, it says this is how they found you on Facebook.
Through Google.
Right.
You can see
it's called analytics.
50 people look at you.
Yep.
Do they give you who those 50 people are?
No. And then we can talk about how you capture names and such.
Okay.
But no, they don't give you that information. So these are all the small business owners are going nuts about Google Places because, hey, I can get found online now. I can compete with the big companies, and if I have a trigger, if I'm in a business that people are looking for me locally, I'm going to show up in Google Places. So dentists, plumbers, contractors, you name it, anybody that has a local business, sign companies, florists, camera equipment, they're looking for people locally. So when you look up Google, in Google, for example, you say restaurants. These are all Google Places listings. You can tell because they have these little balloons by them, these little red balloons. And this is all free search. But you'll also see other things on the page from Google. On the right-hand side will be paid advertising, and on top will be paid advertising. So in addition to this showing on the page, you're going to see other information. So if you're doing a search which triggers a local search where Google says, oh yeah, the term they're putting in, that means they want to look locally. They want a plumber, they want local. But that's just to give you an idea of what Google Places is. Have you seen those? Have anybody seen those balloons out there?
Yes, I just saw one a little while ago. I'm trying to think what I was doing on my laptop at work, and I was I was looking at junior achievement.
Okay.
I don't know if you know about junior achievement.
Yep.
For marketing opportunities for our office, because we like to work with kids mostly, because that's our customers, and they just were showing what events were coming up, but where the events were at. And the map popped up with the little balloons,
Yep.
mostly in Chicago, not in the suburbs,
I see.
just where they're going to be located for events.
Yep.
But it just was like overwhelming because I didn't expect it. And
Yeah.
somehow I am trying to think what I typed in is something at their website. Is that Is that possible?
Yeah.
I was on their website, but something from Google popped up like that on their
Well, this
website.
is when you do a search, when you put in the search term in Google search, you put restaurants, or if you put Junior Treatment up
Okay,
there.
that's what I did then, probably.
Yeah,
So it was through Google then, right?
yes,
Okay,
yep. The same would be for Yahoo or Bing.
okay.
Is there a fee for that?
No. so-
Advertising? And how long do they?
Oh, for
keep it?
advertising, yes. So for this, no. For the paid advertising, that would be on the right-hand side. You're going to see a bunch of listings. I'll show you another page like this. And on top, they're going to have paid listings. So you can actually pay to get found as well.
So
But
then,
right here is free.
so then how long is your business on that?
As long as you're always there. Once you're on there, you're always there. Once you have the listing, you claim it. But you may not show up on the front page, right? Because these restaurants have done, they've done some work on their, they're typically doing work on Google Places. They're putting all their information in there, so Google says, oh, this looks like a reputable business. I'm going to show them first.
So is there like a PIN or a password for the person
Right.
putting that information on?
Yeah, so I'm going to get into that.
Okay.
You're gonna be switching.
Joe.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi, good, how are you? We're running a little late.
Oh, no, no problem.
I'm sorry.
So Joe, the difference between this and regular Google is more detail from the company that's on there?
Okay, yeah, so what happens is, if these are cleaned and they went into Google Places and they put information in there, it's gonna show, when I click on this balloon, it's gonna show a bunch of information about that company.
Okay.
If you didn't claim anything, it's gonna not show up, it's not gonna show much information at all. It's just gonna show your name, address, and phone number, and maybe what you do, and maybe a little map of where you are, but it won't show what you do in any detail. So you,
What
I'll show you.
I'm asking, here's
Sure.
what I'm asking, if you go to Google,
Yep,
how do you get to Google Places? I mean, I go to Google all the time, but I don't see
it
it
shows
say
up
that.
automatically.
It does?
And then there's also a spot you can go to, Google Places.
Oh,
So
okay.
Google Places is different than Google.
No, Google Places is Google.
So it's
So
there all
Google
the time?
decides, what happens is Google's saying to themselves, they're saying, hey, if we want to keep our competitive edge and get all these people searching and using our tool, we're going to show what people are looking for. So if somebody wants to see a plumber, they don't want to, they want to show plumbers in the area. They don't want to show plumbers outside in the area. So they're doing it for free for people that are plumbers, or whatever business you're in. If it's a local business, they're going to try to show you the best results they can, so you keep coming back to Google. So they're willing to do that for free. That's why Google's doing this. It's not because they're great people or altruistic.
What order is it in?
Okay, so so the order depends on a lot of different factors, and we'll get into that. I want to show you some more before we get into that, if you can hold that question.
Sure.
Good. All right, so here's where you can go, and I'm going to give you a 57-page document on how you can do all sorts of things to get optimized on Google Places, so you'll be ahead of 85% of all the other people out there.
So I don't have to like
You don't have to write those if you don't
here?
want to.
Okay.
They'll be in there. So, and you can actually, I'm going to give you a copy of this presentation that's clickable. So if you want to go to Google and you want to, add your listing or see if it's already out there and claim it, you can do that. Okay?
So somebody like me, I do multiple things.
Yeah,
So if I can do one for signs, I can do one for embroidery, for screen printing,
exactly.
but I have to go to 3 different sites or 3 different locations.
No,
To,
you put it all in one location.
okay.
And Google Places allows you to have 5 categories. And in addition to those 5 categories, which could be for you, apparel, signs, embroidery, and so on. Those are, you can pick the best 5 that you think people are going to be looking for you on. And they have pre-built ones that you can select from if you want.
Okay.
And then, in addition to that, you can put your business description in there. You can put photos of your business in there. You can put videos of your business in there. It's like having your own free website. And a lot of people don't know that this exists.
Hey, Joe,
Yes.
just from personal experience, you don't want to have more than one listing, though.
Yeah.
Like, more is not more. Because I thought, well, I can have 2 listings, and what happened was I got kicked off of Google Places for a short time until I cleaned it all up, because I think it confused the...
They don't like, Google wants to show, local, but they want you to have.
relevancy
Yes.
and
Yeah.
it gets confused, so don't set up 2 listings for
And I'm
yourself.
gonna, and that's all in this document, all of these tips and everything. That's a great tip right there, because people think I can put one up in Naperville, and I can, but if you're physically not located there, you can't do that with Google Places. You can do that on your website, and that's what we recommend a lot of people do, is you have a page for every town you want to get found in. You have a separate web page for that town with your information in there. So if you're located in Downers, but you want to get found in Naperville, you can add pages to your website. So, but that's not Google Places, that's your website. That's a little different, okay? So it's like Google Places is a website by itself, but you want to have your own website in addition to this, because they work together. Google looks at both and says, is this a reputable business? Do they have a lot of people talking about them? Are they listing a lot of directories? Are they located near where the person is looking for the information? Those are the kind of things that Google looks at. And I also included here for Yahoo and Bing, although I mentioned Yahoo and Bing don't have nearly as much of the market as Google, so we're going to spend most of our time on Google. All right, so the number one thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you have your address, your company name, everything has to be very specific. And so what I mean by that is, for example, you don't want to be in all these directories with AVNUE on there, and then in Google Places with AVE. You have to be the same. It has to be the same exact address, same exact company name, same exact MO instead of Missouri or whatever. You want everything to be exactly the same, because we're not talking about just listing ourselves in Google Places. We're going to talk to you about other directories you want to get found in, like Yelp. Have you heard of Yelp? Mm-hmm. That's a review site. There's a bunch of all these other sites that we want to get you into, and I can show you how we can do that pretty easily for you. All right, so here's what we talked about. There are 5 categories. Remember I mentioned that? So if you're into different things, like, if you're real estate, you could be commercial, you could be residential, you could be a lot of different things, right? Industrial. So here you're just saying, okay, I'm in commercial and I do development and I have a rental agency. And so you tell Google what kind of things you do, so when somebody is looking specifically for a real estate developer, you'll have a better chance of getting shown up.
But isn't that what Kathy said not to do?
No, she said this is one Google Place.
Okay.
This is one listing for Google Places. Inside of Google Places, you can have 5 categories. So you can tell Google Places,
okay,
I do 5 different things without having to set up 5 different sites.
Okay.
Okay? All right, so there's another way we talked about getting yesterday down.
If you live out of your home, is there any reason why you wouldn't want to put your home address?
I use my home address. It just depends on, people sometimes feel funny about that, but you have a better chance of getting listed if you show your business address. I work out of my home, so
Okay.
I just use my home address.
You're not getting all this
But you can hide it.
mail sent to you because of it?
Yeah, doesn't matter. They just want to make sure wherever your mail goes to, that's what you're listing on Google. That's what they're going to send you a postcard to say, are you really the owner? Because they don't want people taking these listings and saying they're in charge of it and they're really a competitor or something like that. So they send you a postcard to that address.
That's
and
pretty
you have to
good
verify
idea.
that you're
That's a great
the person.
idea. Wow.
And it takes
Except
2
when you
weeks. It takes 2 weeks to get that
Wow.
postcard from Google.
That's pretty slick.
Did I miss anything there? Okay, well, oh yeah, I did. There's all sorts of directories out there that you can get your name on. And they have similar kind of things that you can do. You can put your photos on there. You can put the description of your business on these different sites. For example, Yelp is a good one. Yellowpages.com for free. You can put your information in there. Now, they have a super duper version where you have to pay for it, but you can put your listings on a lot of places for free. And the more directories you're in, the more people are Google's going to say, wow, all these people are talking about this business. They must be reputable. We're going to show them on the first page. So that's one of the main things that Google looks at. They also look at how close you are to the center of the town that the person's searching in. Good for the florist here. Kathy's right downtown. That helps a little. They look at the URL of your website. Say if it says florist in there and your person's looking up florist, you'll probably show up higher. There's a lot of different factors that come together, and it's a very complex algorithm that Google uses to figure this out. But we know from experience of helping people get listed what Google likes and what gets them on the first page. All right, so here's, they don't always show the 7, you know, how we showed that one where it had 7 Google Places listings with the balloons. They don't always show 7, they might show 3. It just, Google figures out, okay, well, this is a plumbers, everybody wants local plumbers, so we'll show 7 of them. But if you're some other term, it might only show 3, because they think, oh, maybe they want local, but maybe they don't. So they try to figure this out. Google's trying to figure out what you're thinking and what you want as a search result. So this just shows you that this is another factor. You want to get in a bunch of these directories. I gave you a list, a full list of how to do it. I gave you a link. I'm going to give you a link in this 57-page document it is. It has a bunch of links in there that you can go to and enter all your information in. And, and make sure you put the address, business name, and phone number all the same, so that it counts towards your reputation. You can add images, all sorts of images, like the dentist ones I see all the time are, you know, smiley faces. You know, you always want to have somebody that looks like they're not in pain. So you know, whatever describes your business well in the photos, that would be good. Like a, you know, nice custom T-shirt or embroidered or something, or whatever, or sign, whatever it is in your business. Nice looking flowers. But you can also get better listed if you put the keywords on the photos. So that's one of the little tricks that you learn, is that if you put, you know, florist, Downers Grove florist on this, Google doesn't look at pictures, it can't read pictures, but it reads the text that you assign to the pictures. So everything that you do to make it look like you're a florist, for example, the more they're going to want to show you to that person looking at florist on the search engine.
So you're saying, because we do several things within IT, like if we do cabling, you know, have a picture of the cabling,
Yes.
label it cabling.
Yes.
Everything that we
Put
do.
your town in or not, doesn't matter. But
Okay.
it can matter though. There's some other tips I can tell you about. There's something called geo-targeting, which means you can actually pick it off of Google itself. You can pick it off of Flickr, which might have an address associated with that photo. So if it was taken at your site and it has your address in there, Google likes that. They're going to read your address and they're going to say, oh, there's another person looking up this address and this business information. So that's just one thing you can do with images to help optimize it. But just getting them out there is, that's better than most people are doing right now. Just having photos out there.
Do those images go into Google Images too?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's so many images on the web.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to get found there.
Right.
But you can put them in. Google has Panoramio, their own site. It's kind of like Flickr, where all these people put their photos, publicly seen photos. Okay, so that's photos. So you can have up to 10 different photos, I believe it is right now in Google Places. They changed it a couple times. All right, so we talked about, you don't want to use toll-free numbers, by the way. So I know you have a toll-free number. You want to use local numbers because Google is going to say, is this local? And if they look up an 800 number, they don't know. That's good because if you're 1-800-Flowers, that's not good. That hurts Kathy's business, but because they're using an 800 number, it doesn't hurt them in Google Places.
So does that hurt companies that, like my son lives in South Carolina, he still uses, 630 on his phone down there.
Yep.
So that would hurt him if he.
Well, so Google, what happens is every piece of equipment you have, a mobile phone, a computer, there's something called an IP address. And that IP address is what the internet uses to send information to you. So it knows where you're located. It knows the proximity. So for example, I'm using SBC, I'm using AT&T internet. And mine is in Elmhurst, so it thinks sometimes I'm in Elmhurst, but I can type into Google, I can type in where I'm at any point. I could be in South Carolina, wherever, and just type in where I'm at, and it'll only show me results for that area. So it'll automatically know that I'm in this area, and it will show me results for the area. That's how it knows. You don't have to put in Downers Grove plumber. You could just put in plumber, and it'll know that you're in Downers Grove by your IP address or somewhere in the area.
Okay.
So it knows that.
So it's not the area code you have to worry about.
No, you do have to worry about the area code because when Google searches your site, they
Yeah.
want to pick up 630 to say anybody else in 630 that's looking for this, I want to show the 630 number. I want to show this business that's in 630 to them because they're looking for local.
So if my company phone number was not a 630, and I had a problem, it's
On
not going
Google
to pick me
Places.
up?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, you know, it's pretty easy to get a phone number nowadays, and Google Voice, Google has a site that's free to get phone numbers.
And they don't
As long
care
as
if
you use
it's, they don't care if it's a landline or
No.
a cell phone or,
Doesn't
okay.
matter. I use my cell phone.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter. And there's a lot of different ways you can get phone numbers, but you just want to make sure you're going to get a number that you stay with. Because it can affect you negatively if you change your numbers all the time. Google doesn't like that. And so you want to use your area code. You can have a secondary number, by the way, so you can use your toll-free number as your secondary phone number. You just don't want to have it as your primary. So it gives you two areas where you can put phone numbers on. This is, okay, so local location, all right. This is what the owner put in, that they're plastic surgery, they do plastic surgery in Kansas City, they're a cosmetic surgery center. These are their categories that are showing up when somebody looks up the Google. They go to this Google Places site, and this is what this person put in as their information, just to show you an example. So you can, it doesn't have to be one word like dentist, it could be more about what you do. The age of the listing is important. So the longer you're on Google Places, the better you're off, but there's not a lot. The good news is there's still probably 70% of all the listings on Google Places haven't been claimed by the owner yet. So what I'm saying here is that even though age is important, there's still a lot of people that don't even know that Google Places exists. They don't even know their business is listed on there. They don't even know that they have negative reviews sometimes. I walked into a restaurant the other day, and I was trying to get directions, so I looked them up on the map, and they had a horrible review, only one review, and it's been out there. I talked to the owner, it's been out there, he knew about it. It's been out there for 2 years, and they didn't do anything about it. I'm like, oh God, you know how many people probably passed on your restaurant because they looked you up on a map to see the directions, and they see that you have a bad review? So anyway, we talked to them about how you can, we call it burying it or diluting it by having good reviews. So you have other reviews on other sites, like Yelp. You have good reviews on Yelp. So we just tell them, hey, you have to get some good reviews on Google. Google has their own review site. So the more good reviews you get from your customers, the better off you're going to be. And that one bad one's going to look like it must be somebody that was a former worker or disgruntled worker or whatever. Because everybody else is saying good things.
Could I ask a question?
Yes.
Since we just changed our name, logo,
Uh-huh.
website, like I just told you, how would that, what would they have done with our old information and now our new information? I mean, I know I have to find that out, but what's your guess has happened with all that?
So this 57-page document that I have for you there's a section on there that says how to find out if you already are listed in Google Places and Yahoo and Bing.
Okay.
What do you do how do you search for your information?
Okay.
And once you find it, you can claim that listing and then delete it. So
Okay.
if it's an old address, old information, and you want to create a new one, you just delete the bad one,
Okay.
the bad ones.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they've probably already picked up our new information or not? I
How
mean,
long it's been?
like within the last month.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, it depends on their cycles. Sometimes it takes them a couple months before they see.
Okay, so it's something definitely we have to look at and watch for and
Yes.
act on. Okay.
Yeah, and I have tools I can help.
Okay.
You can see that.
Great.
You said claim again. So just for fun and games, I go to Google Places, I type in signs, I see a little bulb,
Yep.
says me.
Mhm.
If I didn't tell them that I want to be there, I'm still unclaimed?
Yep.
So I have to then go in and claim me.
You wouldn't have to. You could leave it out there, but you're not going to get. You're probably not.
But it
gonna
wouldn't
get
help
found.
me.
It wouldn't help you to leave it there.
I need to claim it.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And
I
that way-
think you sent an email out for this today and says, are you on others? So I went to Bing and
Yeah.
I see if I was on Bing.
Yeah.
And I was there. I don't
You didn't do
physically
anything,
think
right?
I did anything
No,
to
you
try to
didn't.
be there.
See, what they did is they went out and.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Oh, okay, somebody did. But you didn't even have to. I mean, a lot of times what happens is Google is the largest aggregator of information in the world. So they can go out and search all these different directories like the Yellow Pages, and there's tons of directories out there, right? And, you know, there's probably billions when you consider all the industry directories out there and everything else. So my point there is, I forgot my point. But no, I mean,
Claiming.
they're going to find you. If you're out there, if you're listed in directories, they're going to find you automatically, and they're going to show you, they'll show you a listing for free, but it may not show up in the searches that people are searching. So if they're searching for a sign company, and these other 5 sign companies did a lot of work on Google Places, put their information in, they'll probably show up first. If you didn't do anything, you'd probably be on page 16 or something, you know, whatever.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It just depends on your competition. So a big factor here is to see who of your competitors is showing up first, second, and third. And we can tell a lot of things. We can look at their site and figure out how maybe we can use what they're doing to our advantage, you know, to get listed on the same citations. Let me step back. Citation is a directory, or so citations is what Google and search engines call it. And so, like Yelp, City Search. Has anybody heard of City Search? There's a lot of direct Yellow Pages everybody's heard of. There's Super Pages. There's Yahoo, Bang, right? There's just a
Manta.
ton of these directories out there. So anyway, you want to get listed on as many as you can, because then your chances will be of being shown on the first page.
That could be a full-time job, just getting on directories.
Okay, then there's companies that will, you give them the information, they'll do it automatically for you, for money. Well, you have to
Oh,
pay
there's
them.
money involved here now.
Sure.
Okay.
And then another, so we talked about age, we'll talk about reviews in a minute. Coupons, you know, if you have coupons in your business, it makes sense for you to have coupons. That's another nice thing to have to show your customers. So when they go to your listing, they see there's coupons they might buy from you based on that coupon, right? So if you can put coupons on there, you can put a bunch of them on there.
Do you think the coupons push you up in the search engine?
I think it's more, because there's words in there, yes, it's going to read those words, and, you know, it says, if they find keywords in there people are looking for, yes. Does it help a lot? I don't think it helps a lot, but I think it does help. It doesn't help from a Google standpoint, but from the person looking at your site and seeing that you have these coupons available, that might trigger them to buy you from you, to call you in from you. That's what really helps out the most. But I don't think Google spends a lot of time looking at coupons. They look at images, they look at categories, they look at age of business, they look at the location of the business. Those are more.
So if it's got 10 spots for photos, put 10 photos.
Yeah, definitely. Fake reviews. So has anybody heard of 5r.com? Fiverr? Wow. Fiverr.com is a site where you can go for $5 and get a bunch of different things. It's amazing what people will sell for $5. So if you want to have a logo, I got my logo. I paid 2 different people because I didn't think one person would come up with a good enough one. So I had a new brand that I was using, and I went to the site and I bought 2 logos. You know, and they actually showed me more than 2. They showed me a bunch of ones to pick from. It cost me $10.
For $10.
Right. And this site is getting extremely popular, and you can do a bunch of things. They can do press releases.
Signs,
They can do-
apparel, screen printing,
Yeah, they can do a lot.
plumbing,
No.
orthodontia, building a house.
No, but I mean, it's amazing. If you go out to the site, you can find that you can outsource a bunch of different things that, like getting listed. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to get fake reviews, because Google's going to figure that out. They're going to see this.
What's the website again?
It's FIVERR.com. So 5 and then richardrichard.com.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah, it's not great for graphic artists, you know, their businesses.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Right.
have postcards designed there for
Yeah.
$5. I have all sorts of graphics they're very good. These are people that are professional, and they make decent money, especially if they're in another country, because a lot of people that are in there are different countries. And if they make, if they get 20 orders a day for $5 or $100, that's a lot of money if you're in the Philippines. It's huge money. In other countries as well. So anyway, then there's a bunch of people in the U.S. as well, and they rate everybody. So just like eBay is successful because you can see how that seller is, how well they rate. Same thing with Fiverr, they have ratings. All right, next. So you don't want to go to Fiverr to get fabricated reviews because Google's going to find that out. They're going to say, oh, this person's in Downers Grove and they have a sign company and they have all these people from Poland saying that they're fantastic. It doesn't make any sense because they can see again the IP address of that person. They can tell where it's coming from. So you don't want to use Fiverr even though there are people who are doing this on Fiverr, you don't want to do it because they'll sandbox you. It's called sandboxing, means that they'll take your listing off the air for a while. They'll suspend your account. Sandbox you, so you don't want to do anything.
Is that what you did, Kathy?
Spammy.
You got the fake reviews?
No, I got scanned.
Oh, okay.
That's okay.
No, because she had two listings for the
Only a
same
couple.
business. And they don't like that either. So, so reviews. Reviews are huge. Google likes reviews. They look at reviews and they say they like quantity more than quality. Actually, at this point. So the more reviews you have on your site, the better chances of getting shown on the page 1 of Google is going to be. And you want to be careful here. You want to be natural with this. You don't want to have like 20 in one day, show up on your website. You want to do a couple a week, make it look natural because they could sandbox you if they think you're doing something, that you shouldn't be. Or if you get 20 a day and you're doing 20 a day for a long time, they say, oh, this is natural for this person. This business, but if you're getting 21 week and then you're not doing any more reviews for the next 10 weeks or something, they're going to say something's wrong. They'll throw up a flag to Google saying, check out this site. You might be doing something that's not right. Look at every review. Okay, so they look at every review. People, though, you want to also consider not just Google, but what about people looking at the reviews? If you have a lot of reviews out there, they feel more comfortable doing business with you, right? If I go to your business, I see no reviews, and I see somebody else that has a sign company and have tons of reviews, and they're good, I'm going to go to the other person, most likely, right? So you want to get good reviews, and I have a section in my document that I'll give everybody here that tells you how to get reviews on different sites. So if somebody has a Yahoo Mail account, it's easy for them to go and do a review on Yahoo for you. If they have a Google Gmail account, email account, it's easy for them to do a Google review. So if you find out your customers what they use for their email system, you can send some information to them on how they can give you a review if they want to give you a review.
So literally ask your customers to please do a review for me?
Yeah, I mean, you should do it.
Review me?
You should always have information on how they can give you a review. You don't necessarily want to solicit reviews, but let them know.
But in an email, Google doesn't know that you solicited.
Yeah, they don't know, but for you don't want to put pressure on your customer to give you a review. That's all.
Well, here, like in networking, in Lodge, where we have 30 people, I send an email out to 30 people and go, would you please write a review for me?
Yes.
And
definitely.
Those 30 coming in at one time, does that throw up a red flag?
Yes.
Okay.
But you can do it, a couple a week here and there. I would recommend it highly.
Okay, cool.
The more good reviews you have, the better off you're going to be shown. One thing I didn't share with you is there's a thing called a heat map, and people study where people are clicking. So they watch over the shoulder of all these people doing searches, and then they show you in a heat map where people click on that front page. So if you have a front page listing of Google, it'll show you a heat map, and it'll show you, most people are clicking on the number 2 listing on there, and the number 1 comes in second, maybe, or you would think it would be the opposite, maybe. But what it shows us is the first 3 people that show up get almost 80% of the clicks. So you want to be, if you want to be listed for your keywords like whatever your business is, whatever keywords are in your business, and I can tell you how to find out which those keywords are. You want to be in the top 3. So you want to do all these things I just talked about on your Google listing, put all this information in, and you have a better chance of getting listed, because your competition might not be doing this. Hopefully they are, because it'll help you a lot.
So just not doing a good job in your business is good enough to get your business nowadays, it seems like. It's incredible.
Yeah. You know, you'll see some people on there that are getting listed on Google Play Store going, this is a tiny little company that she has no business, you know, showing up with people that do a lot of business necessarily, you know. So, you know, it's like, you know, it just doesn't make sense sometimes, but most of the time it's because they claim their listing and they put a bunch of information in there. So here's some directory sites. We talked about City Search, TripAdvisor, Zagat's. You guys have probably heard of Zagat's. There's a lot of them, and you think, oh, those are for restaurants. You still want to get on those directories because they have a high reputation with Google, and the more of those directories you're on that have high reputation, the higher you're going to show up in Google. And when you go to Urban Sloan, they have listings for contractors. They have listings for people in all sorts of different businesses. It's not just restaurants or bars or whatever. So I have a listing of all the main directories you want to be listed in this document also. So it'll show you how to get into the top directories that Google likes. So look at this one, City Search. Who wants to be on City Search? You know, 46% of the reviews are on City Search.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of them out there now. I know a lot of people haven't heard about it. You're not the only one.
I feel so inadequate right now.
Well, you see, but you don't pay attention to it when you're pulling up. You know, you don't.
All right, so, you know, you want to have little campaigns about reviews. You know, you want to put reviews on your receipts that you give to people, your invoices. Hey, you know, if you really like our service, here's where you go to give us a review. You can do it a number of different ways. Like you said, you can email, you can do networking groups, talk about, hey, you know, you did business with me, I did business with you, how about if we share a review, reciprocal reviews. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can get reviews.
You could do a campaign for send out cards to ask for reviews.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's not a bad idea.
Go on invoices, newsletters, emails. Here's a list of some of them. You know, here's places that you can put them on. Billboards. I walked into a orthopedic doctor. My daughter twisted her ankle, and they had one for Yelp. They had like a little flyer on the desk, and it said, "Hey, if you like the service you got here, you know, please go to Yelp and tell Yelp about us." Something real simple like that. So.
Hey, Joe.
Yes.
I do know that, like, about a year or maybe 2 years ago, Google used to take all your reviews and use them from Yahoo and Bing, and anywhere anybody wrote a review, they would put it on Google, but then they pulled all the second-party reviews off, and so now Google only uses Google reviews. So if you need to get a review on Google, you need to tell them to go to Google.
Right, but in order to do a review on Google, they have to have a Google account.
Which
So
is easy to say.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to sign up, but people are reluctant to do that sometimes. So it doesn't, what I didn't bring up here too is Google Places looks at your website. So if your website has a lot of reviews on it, they're going to count it as being good. They like their own reviews, Google reviews, but they also look at these other review sites. And they find them on websites. They don't find them on Google Places necessarily. They'll find them on your website, your main website.
Do they care who's like I have my websites through GoDaddy? They don't care? They don't care who your
Hosting company is?
hosting company is? Okay.
Okay. So those are some ideas on reviews. You can actually see a demo of Google Places and how to do the listing on Google. Google will help you if you can figure out where to find it. You know. So here's where you can find it. You go to that URL. I'll give you a copy of the presentation as well, so if that's not in my document, you can look at the presentation and just click on the presentation if you have PowerPoint or PDF. And when you send it, when you do your listing, I know Kathy has this displayed in your window, right? That they give you a little sticker, nowadays when you claim a listing on Google Places, they'll send you a postcard, and you say I'm the owner, and then they'll send you a nice little, thing that you can put on your window if you have a retail store. That's nice for retail business. You've seen these QR codes probably. QR codes are just a way to get people who have smartphones with a QR, they have to get this special app, and a lot of these kids have these apps all over their phones. And they can actually take their mobile phone and zip and scan this QR code, and it might go to a coupon. So if who's in retail business in here? We have a couple, just a couple. It's great for retail. But it's also good for a lot of applications. So, for example, you could have your company shirt on your, logo shirt, and you could have a QR code on the back, and somebody could scan it, and then take them right to your website, or take them right to your newsletter, or sign up, or take them wherever you want them to go. It's just embedded in this code is a website address that you can take the person to a coupon, to whatever you want to take them to. And these are, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because it's getting more and more popular. If you look in magazines now, people are using them in their ads. And so and the smartphones, there's so many smartphones being bought nowadays, it's amazing.
Considering where we were 12 years ago.
Excuse me?
It says considering where we were 12 years ago.
Oh,
Yeah. The old flip phone was analog, I mean, those are light years out of the time.
Yep.
The cool thing about the smart codes or QR codes,
Yeah.
you can on the back end you can change what it goes to on a daily basis. So if you're a retailer, you could do today we're going to sell 2 hot dogs and a fry for $3.95, and change it tonight, and tomorrow you're going to sell a hot beef for $5.99. So the
Very
code,
easy to change.
the code doesn't have to change on any of your advertisements. You just change the back end what
It's redirecting. Yeah.
you redirect it.
Right.
Very
Yep.
cool.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry.
very good.
Do you think that's, how many people in here have a smartphone with a QR reader? I'm just curious.
Sure.
There's a free app.
Okay.
So it's-
Okay.
99 cents. I think and there's
Free
free ones.
QR, free download.
Yeah, there's free ones, and then there's better quality ones. So that's pretty much my presentation.
Does QR code in your ads help you listing with Google?
No, they don't read QR labels right now. They might someday, but I haven't heard of anybody getting better listing because of QR codes. But it's great for the people from your site if you want to click on a special deal that you have or whatever. So are there any questions at this point?
You can talk about
Yeah.
price if you wanted to
Okay.
be more exposed or something.
Okay, so price from a standpoint of how to optimize this document I'm going to give you
Yeah.
allows you to do it all yourself if you want to. Okay. If you find that this is too much work and you want somebody else to do it for you, I'd be glad to give you a price for doing that work for you. And at the end of this meeting, if anybody wants to sit down, I can go through an hour free. I'm offering a free consultation for an hour. You go through your business and find out what are the best things we could do to get found online, for example, as well as some other things you might be overlooking that are working today in today's environment. So I'll do it, and I can also show you how you're listing today. So I can show you a report on your current situation. So I would bring that to me at this free consultation. So would you like, if you want to sign up,
Sign me up.
Susan, can we get a sign-up sheet too, because we were talking about. So if you give me your name and email address, I'll send you this free report on how to get listed on Google Places with a lot of information there. And Mark Favish has a few things he wants to talk about. I don't know if everybody was here when I described what Mark does. But one of the things that I use Mark for a lot is the video and the photography side. So if you want some cool headshots, you want some unbelievable video, Mark is a great person to go to. Mark has figured out a way to take what normally you have to go to a TV station studio for, and you figure out a way to bring it all here. We have 3 different cameras going on right now, and in an amazing sound system and everything else. So Mark, you want to talk for a few minutes about your business and?
Sure. Joe, can I ask you one
Sure,
question before you
sure.
do that? Everything you showed so far on Google, and the way I understand it, is about attraction, right? Attracting people.
Yes.
What does Google do for you in terms of promoting? Where is it headed in that regard?
Okay, so they have something called Google AdWords, and if you want to, it's paid advertising, and you can be shown on the first page if you have a good ad that's clicking well. So what happens is you can actually pay for advertising. That's one of the ways they'll help promote your business.
They'll bump you up on top of the,
Right.
so that you're basically paying for to be like a
Clicks or-
highlight, the pink highlight at the top.
Okay.
Yeah. So they
Pretty
look at
expensive.
they look at a lot of factors when determining who they're going to show up on top. One of them's money. So yeah, so there's and then there's Facebook ads. There's a bunch of different ways that if you want to pay for advertising, you can get found that way as well.
Okay, thanks.
Is there a window for Google?
Window?
A window of opportunity? Is
Well-
lifespan, longevity?
Yeah, so if you think about it, Google's mission in life is to show people results on searches that they're looking for, the businesses they want to see. So it's trying to figure that out all the time. How do I show better results to people so that they're going to continue to come back to me, Google, to look up everything they want to buy, they want to solve problems, they're looking up their problems online. Google's trying to serve you the best way they can. So for them, this is a great thing if you go in and you tell them, hey, I do all this business and this is the kind of business I do, because people looking for embroidery work on shirts might find you now, where they've been before, and they're going to be happy that they found somebody and didn't have to go through multiple pages to find them, multiple searches. So it's all about serving up the customer. That's what Google wants to do. So I think the longevity of this is going to be around for a long time. One of the things I didn't mention is that video is a big deal too at Google. So if you have a video on your website, on your Google Places, excuse me, let's start there. On your Google Places, you can put videos on there as well. They allow you to put videos on there. They own YouTube. Google bought YouTube. They love videos. Videos can by themselves get you found on page 1. So sometimes you'll look up something, you put in search term, and all of a sudden you see video on the front page. And so video is very, Google likes video, people like videos, that's why Google likes videos.
And anybody can make a
Right.
video.
Exactly.
Okay. Maybe not the quality
No.
Mark can.
Yeah, so I have for simple little videos, I have a ZIA that's called a Kodak ZIA. Cost me $150 at one time, and now I think they're down below $100. They do HD quality video, and all you do is you plug in, they have this little thing that flips out, you plug it into your USB on your computer, and it downloads it for you to YouTube if you want, or any other video site that you tell it to.
A lot of QR codes go to YouTubes. So does that help
yeah,
you by
sure,
having your
definitely.
QR be a YouTube?
QR can go anywhere. Yeah, I mean,
Does
you find in
Google
your
know
audience-
that QR code has embedded in it a Google video? I mean, a YouTube video.
I don't know for sure.
Okay.
I don't know for sure. But if they don't today, they will. I can almost guarantee you they will.
Google have any competition right now?
Yeah, Yahoo and Bing, mainly. They're still getting 13%, I look on Yahoo search sometimes, I use Yahoo Mail a lot, so.
Sometimes.
It's not as, I like Bing, actually, I think Bing's pretty good at showing.
I just don't like all the suggestions. Leave me alone. I don't need all the extra. Just let me, I know what I'm looking for. I'm capable of typing what I need. I don't need your thoughts on the subject, you know?
Oh, Pete does a lot of the opinions.
Yeah, they pop up the, like, when you type in something in the search, it'll be like, oh, you might want to also look at this, this, and this. It's like,
Oh.
no, I just want to look at this, I got it, thanks, I want to look at those things, I'll type that in.
Got it. Yeah, so somebody that wants help, they might like that. Other people, if they know what they're searching for, they don't. Yes?
I had a quick, what do you just Google QR codes, or how do you get a QR code?
Oh, QR code would just show up as a result of the search.
Okay, all right.
So if you're saying, I want to look up coupons because I'm going to go buy a new water heater or something.
Oh, no, like if we wanted a QR code, how do you get, you just,
If you want to display it on your own.
yeah,
people
if you
put
want a
them-
QR code for what your promotions.
Yeah, you just put them on your website, you put them on paper. You know,
Yeah.
people can read them off paper, you can put them on.
Right, I know where to put them, but
Google
how
it.
to know how to
Google it,
Okay.
there's a program
Yeah,
that
there's-
tells you how to do it,
That's
walks
what
you
I
right
figured, I
through.
just want to.
Yeah.
Website for it?
Yeah, there's a website to download the
QR reader.
no, not the reader,
Oh.
to literally
to create it.
download,
Yeah,
to
how
create a
one.
QR
Yeah,
code.
yeah.
you go.
Oh, the
from
create.
there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
There's a lot of them out there. They're on iPhones, they're on the websites.
Did everybody get that?
yes.
So, Mark is going to give a little presentation here, very short.
Yeah, my own section.
What's that?
Just logging in on my.
Okay, all right, he's logging in online, so why don't we do a little search on somebody's business while we're waiting? All right, we're gonna pick on, here's a piece of software that I have that helps people understand if they have a Google Places account, it shows them how they're ranking on Google Places locally. So if I put in my, let's use Kathy, 630-968-0700.
968 0700.
So this is a piece of software I have that actually goes out, it goes out to Google Places and figures out for the categories she put in Google Places, where she ranks in Google Places. Okay, so because you have your 800 number, I think that's the reason. I think that was the problem. Okay, so let's use another number. If you use your 800 number, it doesn't like that. Let's go back. Anybody else have a Google Places account here?
630-963.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to go back here for a second. Six 630
Yeah.
963.
6020.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the rest.
6020.
20.
60/20.
6020, thank you. If you're on Google Places, it'll show. If you're not on Google Places, then
I think I am.
okay, not being found. Right. Anybody else?
You want to try our phone,
Okay,
630.
let me go back here 1 second.
Is this only the claimed ones? What you're searching?
Fix that in my road. Okay.
Okay, yeah, 630-515-2727.
So this is a cool little tool. Once you get on Google Places, you know, you can see how you're ranking. Looks like you might have one.
Awesome.
All right, so it says her keywords, what she said are her main categories are physician, orthodontist, health and medical. So she's ranking number 4 on orthodontist locally in the Downers Grove or wherever your location is. You're ranking number 2 on health and dentists, medical dentist.
Okay.
You're ranking number 10 on dentist and number 1 on orthodontist for straightening braces.
What do the rankings mean? Where, I mean, rankings mean
Okay, so,
how we're favored by Google
yes,
in
exactly.
terms of the categories, or?
Yes, this is in Google Places, so if you're on just a regular search, it may not show up. You may not show up as number one on that search, but you will show up higher than anybody else on that page.
Okay.
Typically, because if you're doing a Google search. If you go into Google Places, though, you're going to show number one. So there's a spot on Google that called Places that people go to Maps, Google Maps. If you go to Google Maps, you're going to show up number one on Google Maps.
And why do you know why that would be? I mean, what would be the explanation for showing up number one?
Okay, so the explanation are all those things we went through today.
Okay,
So if you're in a lot of different directories, if you are close to, this helps a little, if you're close to the downtown area, Downers Grove.
we are.
If you've been on, your website's been out there for a long time, it'll count. If you have photos out there on your Google Places, that counts.
Okay.
If you have video on there,
Okay.
that helps. All these things help. Nothing's necessarily better than the other.
So we ranked number one in orthodontics for,
For straightening braces.
yeah, okay,
So if
Cool.
somebody's looking that
Okay.
up, you're gonna,
pop up right away.
right.
First one, okay.
Okay, so, what else? You ready, Mark?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it over to Mark now. Mark's gonna show you some other things you can do to help your business get found and get more customers. So, you know, a lot of the people in this room didn't even know about Google Places, right? Which I wasn't really sure what I was gonna find out about that. There's still a lot of people, a lot of your competitors don't know. And so there's three things that you wanna look at. One is, are people searching for my products and services on Google? We can do a search on Google it's called Google AdWords Search Tool. To find out if people are searching for your products and your services. We can do a little study to show you how many people are searching locally. We can also do is show you, are you visible? You know, just like on that one little report that shows some people aren't visible on Google Places because they don't have a Google Places account. But there's other places we can find out if you're visible, other tools we can use. And then number three, who's getting all my business? You know, if I'm not showing up number one or number two on these rankings, who is? You know, so you probably want to know who are your competitors is getting all your business, and that'll show up there as well.
I have a question. I'm sorry. Is there any difference between a B2C and a B2B with doing
No.
that?
No.
So they don't track to see where you're, like if I'm from home or if I'm from the office, they don't
No.
care.
Well, they'll look at your IP address if you're at work, and they'll say, you know, if you're using a work computer and you're not using your laptop from home, it'll look at the IP address and say, oh yeah, she's working today in Addison. She works in Addison all the time, and she's doing a search. It'll look for Addison first. If you bring your laptop in, you're set up for, you know, Downers Grove. When you do your search, it'll search for Downers Grove typically.
But like, there's no way to
Oh yeah, you can change it.
to target whether it's a B2B or a B2C or not through Google.
It's just, Google's trying to figure out, it doesn't matter if it's B2B or B2C. If they think that this person doing the search is looking for local businesses, it's going to show local businesses. That's how they try to figure it out. And they're getting better and better at it over time. I don't know if you remember 3 years ago doing searches, it was kind of hard to find stuff. It's getting easier to find stuff nowadays.
So you said that you could Google a word to find out how many people go after that
Yes.
word?
Yes.
So florist, you could say, what's the frequency of people looking for florists?
Yes. And it's not an exact formula, but it gives you pretty good numbers. Google gives you the numbers and what they find people searching. And they estimate it. They don't give you an exact number, but they give you good estimates.
Is that based on Downers Grove area, world area,
They do
United
world,
States?
they do world, they do US. And
Really? Do they tell you that right in the search?
Yes.
Is that information free to
Yes.
us? We just go
Yes.
online and
Yep.
find the site? Okay,
Yep.
cool.
And I think I have it in that document too, as far as, it's called Google AdWords search tool. If you Google it up, it'll take you to,
That's pretty cool.
yeah. So those are the three things that I think, if you want to go back and figure out, hey, is this worth my while? Because this is going to take some time to put in the information, right? Find out, how many people are looking for you, whether you're visible or not, and then who's getting all your business, who's getting the phone calls. And then what are they doing? That's what then when we figure out who's getting all the phone calls, we figure out what do they have. They have a lot of reviews. Maybe we need, if we get one more review than that, maybe that's going to kick us up on top of that. Maybe they have videos. Maybe we need to put more videos out there. So we look at the competition to figure out how we can get in the number 1 or number 2 or number 3 ranking. Okay, Mark.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mark Fabish, and Joe asked if I talk a little bit about new media. Generally called new media would be photography and video, and a variety of different new media techniques that are being used on the web now. What's really happened is, and I notice it with my kids, when they want to learn something, they go onto YouTube. Whether it's remote control airplanes or whatever it is, they go on YouTube and they come back in a couple hours and they know everything. It's just a natural, people are gravitating towards, how do I learn the fastest? How do I get information? If I'm shopping for something, if I want to learn what I need to buy, they just go in, and video is an incredible tool for that. Photography and video have just exploded because of the fact that essentially the net became so fast and prevalent. It used to be videos a bunch of years ago. We're making websites, and you had a modem, and it was 128K, and they're very slow. And the videos, there wasn't a unified format. So if you were going to watch a video on the web, you'd click, and then you just didn't know what was going to happen. You didn't know if it was going to stick, if it was going to open, if it was going to open in a new window. And what really universalized it was YouTube. YouTube created a common format, in the same way that Windows is a common computer format. YouTube created a way that everybody, no matter what age, they look at it, they're familiar with that box, they see that little triangle, they can click on it. The first thing everybody does is they look right down at the numbers to see how long is this video going to be. That, because people are very careful of their time on the web. Everybody's rushed already, and there's so many things on the web that people are saying, well, how do I maximize the amount of information I can get in the shortest period of time? So a lot of what there are a lot of ways to use video now. One of the, and Joe mentioned, your iPhone or telephones now, the latest versions create incredibly good video. So the question is, how do you really use this? There's video that is as inexpensive as taking it on your phone, and then there's video that is very highly edited, where it took days to edit and film different parts of it and put it all together to really communicate a specific message. And I'll show you some examples of each of those. First of all, I think when the web first came out, when I really noticed video happening was back in the, you remember that movie, The Blair Witch Project? Mm-hmm. That was kind of a change, where that was a low-budget movie where it was shaking, and they, made this movie, and it became a mainstream hit in terms of generating a lot of revenue and everything. And I think that really changed, and all of a sudden, where people used to think of video as a commercial, like a television commercial, that it would cost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to create a television commercial in the studio. All of a sudden, the web had video all over the place, and consequently the quality level went way down. So one thing I like to do with video is to create, even if it's with your phone, you want to create better quality video than most other people. Unfortunately, that's not hard. If you just, they have little tripods even for phones. If you use a tripod, if you have decent lighting, if you don't have a lot of extraneous sound, your videos can be light years ahead of 90% of what's out there. All you have to do is click through YouTube, and you'll see just thousands and thousands, high percentage of videos are very, very poor quality. There are some video business sites around here that I was shocked to see the level of video quality on these sites where they're interviewing business people, and clearly someone had a very cheap camera, hand holding it. It's wobbly and the sound is crappy and the lighting is bad. So here's an example of, this is a company that they work with doctors, and they work with real estate companies and developers and investors to build medical office buildings. They'll represent all the parties and provide input and so forth. And so one of the properties that they helped put together is, if I go here to our featured property on the website, and this is an example of very fast, easy to make videos that can have a high degree of impact in your sales process. So one day, we took just a few videos out here. On this page, and I'll just arrow down so you can see what this page looks like. On this page, there are 4 videos. And we have, this is the person who is the builder from the building company. This is the person from the management company. This is the real estate agent talking about how doctors can lease. And this is a doctor. And I'll just play this one rather than going through all these videos. But I'll see if you can hear this one. We have enough bandwidth here.
Hi, I'm Dr. James Kane here at Prairie Point Medical Center in Hoffman Estates. I wanted to introduce you to our new Class A medical office building at 64,000 square feet. I developed this with McShane Corporation several years ago. We've been in it 2 years now, and it's been a great experience. Some of the criteria we were looking for was a brand new Class A medical office building, which this is. It's a beautiful office building. It has a western exposure in the medical community in the Chicago area. It's located around 59 at the Northwest Tollway. If you're interested in seeing more of this or taking a tour of the building, please contact Patrice Marks at National Realty Network. Thank you.
So that's 42 seconds. That's about as long as you want to go. You can see that there's no flashy title, there's no music, there's really no editing. It's virtually a start and stop video, but there's had a couple lights there. They had a couple just regular video lights, positioning, making sure it was clear, making sure there wasn't any other sound. So this video, the comments that have come back, that it's light years ahead of a lot of what people expect to see on the web. Therefore, it's a lot easier to really be professional, to really come across well. And so you can see there's 4 videos on this page. The building manager who's going to take care of you as a doctor if you want to lease this space. You've got one of the doctors involved in building the building. So in less than 2 minutes, a person who finds this on the web or is directed there is going to have, compare that to all of the little real estate listings you see on the web. There's a million real estate listing services, where you can find medical office space, you can find any kind of office space. Compare the impact. If you're a doctor looking to lease your next doctor's office or open a new office, what is the impact, the communication that occurs by watching those 4 videos? And what is the amount of time that is saved by the real estate company? If you have 10 people who are prospective customers who watch those videos, that's a lot of your selling that's been done. So when you're making videos, it's very important to really, think about your sales process. Oftentimes I'll interview the person who's responsible for selling. A lot of business owners and people in business, or maybe their head of sales, they've been doing it for many, many years, and they have so many things in their head that they don't even think of. I might even go in and tape record when they're doing a phone call, a sales call. Because when a business owner picks up the phone, the first thing that happens is someone says, hi, I was referred to you, or I'm interested in your service, or do you sell this? Instantly, you're calculating, how good of a prospect is this? Is this someone is this a hot prospect on the line right now? And you ask a question based on what they said. And you work through this process of finding out if they're a good prospect and then essentially selling them. And since it's someone you may never have known, they've just called, that little conversation that you have shows so much about what you want to have in your 30-second video. You know, if you even tape record yourself on a sales call. There's a company locally that went and they had some prospects coming in. They do hosting, where they sell hosting services to companies to co-locate. And I just walked around while the owner, it took some prospective customers through the hosting place, the hosting center, talking about, well, we have the redundant backup, we have this, we have that. And I put a check mark by everything he said twice, and put 2 check marks by everything he said 3 times. You know, at the end of that, he probably didn't even realize that he'd repeated some of those statements. But those were extremely important. So then when you're saying, what do I want to say in my video? You can look at that and say, here's the points. If I have to say everything in 30 seconds, you know, what's the most important? You can get that out of yourself to, as a sales expert. Another thing, let me check the time here. So that's one way of using videos, and these videos can be made very quickly and easily. Then there's, I'll show you, this is about a 4 or 5 minute video, so I'll just show you part of it.
Should you dress the part too? I mean, like, I'm in construction, should I be standing there with my tool belt versus the doctor that should be in his, his uniform or whatever?
It's all about your prospects. You know, you are going to be talking to your prospects. And if it's, well, how do you feel comfortable if someone came into your office? If you were on a sales call, you may have a couple types of videos. You may say, it could be a picture of you and, maybe you go and you meet with clients and you wear a certain type of clothing, and you're talking about, you're doing your sales process. Well, maybe you have another video that is you on the job, where you're actually, you can just think of all the home shows that are out there. All these guys that are, they're on these home shows, they're in there working on these houses, and they're in their work clothes, And so I would say you could have something like that was very specific. Say you specialize in putting in jacuzzis or, barbecue grills for a back porch or something. If you were out there actually putting one in, and if you're thinking about what are your customers concerned with, maybe a huge thing that all your prospects ask you is, what about this gas line? How do I put? I don't think this is gonna be dangerous. Do I put a gas line in? I had a quote once. It was $3,000 they wanted, and maybe that's a huge issue for you, and it's worth it for you to say, here I am. You're in your work clothes. I'm out here. I'm putting in this barbecue grill. I just want to let you know that now it's legal to use flexible piping for gas, for your gas line. We can easily run it all the way into your gas line, and it's going to cost less than $300 now. Where people used to cost $3,000. So that might be a perfect little snippet. You want to think about what are the things that you end up saying to prospects, either when you're going through the sales process. A good example of that is an extremely low-cost video, which is one of the best ones I've seen for handling a step in the sales process. There's a person in Chicago, and he owns a box company. They make garment boxes, and these are they fold up and you hang garments in them, and clothing manufacturers buy them for shipping their garments and things. Stores, and so it's something where you buy these in quantity, and he sells nationwide. So he's talking to someone on the phone, and they're thinking, boy, I got burned. I'm going to save money, but if they're crappy, it's just such a pain to have 10,000 of these garment boxes sitting around that everybody's wasting their time wrestling with them. So he'll be on the phone with someone, and he'll say, all right, go to YouTube, type in Field Box Company, and he's just tagged it in YouTube, so all someone has to do is type it in, the name, it's a unique name, and it'll come right out. Watch this video. It says, my brother took this. He had a little tiny little cell phone, and he went out and he took a picture of his brother going over, putting one of these boxes together and slamming it on the ground. And it is authentic. It's like the Blair Witch thing. It's authentic, it's real. He was talking to him on the phone, that's my brother right there. This is how strong these boxes are. you know, and that's the key to it, is finding those things like that. And, you know, that video is when you get into the last objections in the sales process, and someone says, geez, if I buy 10,000 boxes and they're a piece of crap, oh, you gotta watch this video. You know, how else would you communicate that? You know, there's 1,000 ways to do that. Sometimes you want to do there's a reason to do a higher level production video. And for example, there's a company, an association that we've done a lot of work for, that every year they honor 3 dads to be Father of the Year. And this is the Illinois Fatherhood Initiative. And so they said last year that they wanted to have 3 videos. One, Kerry Wood was honored as Father of the Year, and it was Tom Dreesen. If you guys know who Tom Dreesen is, he opened for Frank Sinatra forever, and also Richard Dent were 3 honorary dads of the year. And so they have this event. There's hundreds of people there, and so we really want to have a video where you get some things from their family, get some input, and put this together in a video. And we're going to show it at this event, you know, in front of these hundreds of people. We're going to put it on our website. It's going to be used for all these different purposes. And so I'll play a little bit of this one, Kerry Wood one. And interestingly enough, when Richard Dent went up and his daughter was there, maybe I'll show you a little bit of that one. You know, I always say, well, not many people can say they made Richard Dent cry. When he watched this video, he had tears coming down his eyes. I'll show you why in a minute.
Do we need Kleenex for us?
Sleeve.
This will play here.
So yeah, you think about it, you could put together a couple-minute video and put it on Google Places, and your chances, again, of getting listed high up in Google Places is going to be really good. Because a lot of people don't have video in there.
Does it help if you have it on your website too, or no?
Yes, definitely.
Do you put the same one on or something different?
You know, you can definitely put the same one on, you know, and there's some ideas I can share with you a little later about which ones to put on. Then it's open as a socket and home run.
1,407 strikeouts when he comes, ranked 4th in franchise history, and he became the fastest pitcher in Major League Baseball history to reach 1,000 strikeouts.
You know, it's not playing on this computer very well right now. Not sure if it's
Sure, definitely. I'll take you through that document. You know, I'll take you through that document because I think you're going to see some really cool stuff in there that you can use to get found online. So when Mark's finished here, if you want to see it, stay around. Otherwise, I'll send it to you. It doesn't look like the snow's here yet, so there's no snow on the ground.
Keep looking out the window. Is it possible, or have people done it, to do like a operations manual? We have a new mobile surveillance trailer, and our limitation is that if we go outside of our region and we sell them to somebody in Texas or Oklahoma and something breaks down, that we haven't put in the steps to do that. But could we do something like on video that says, okay, this is the problem, this is how we fix it, and then have somebody there do that?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, as long as you put, what you're talking about is you're putting together a video that gives somebody a step-by-step instructions on how to fix something.
For how to fix something that, you know, so.
Yeah, so it doesn't have, the video can be any length. We're talking about videos that you put on the web that are going to be short because people don't have a large attention span. They have a lot going on. But for somebody who's trying to fix something, they want to see every step. So they're going to want a longer video, you know, to show them how to do it.
To be able to do that, and can we put that, I mean, like, nobody would want to sit there unless you were trying to fix it, to watch this, or, I mean, or is that just something that we develop in-house and then have them download off our site or something like
Exactly.
that, rather than
Yeah, so
having something
you-
like that.
You wouldn't have it on YouTube where everybody could, see it. You probably want to have a private network where only certain people can get to it, that kind of thing.
And for tutorials or something like that.
Right. Yeah, so the point we're trying to make here is video is loved by Google, and if you put video on your site, your chances of getting phone calls is going to be much greater. Yes, Bob, do you have something you want to share with us? No? How you doing?
I'm at a club.
Being obnoxious.
Bob loves Denise.
What the?
Sorry.
I'm saying bad.
Well, what I did is, for this, I'm using all my computers for all the video stuff. So I grabbed this really old one, which isn't handling the HD video that I just tried to play on it. And so what I'll do is, if anybody wants to see it right after this, I can play it on one of those computers. But just to talk about some of the uses, and I'll show you that right after I unhook one of those to show you. That for this highly edited video, this was something that was created for the association. It had high impact on that night. We made a commemorative DVD for the event. It said Father of the Year. It went to each of the honorary fathers got one, and then this video was used for a lot of things. It was used. The videos are used to talk to people about being the Father of the Year for next year, to talk to people about donating to the organization. And one of the interesting things is the Kerry Wood video actually kind of went viral a bit. And what happened is Kerry Wood's family, they have a foundation, and then they have people involved, and they have events, and they have donations and different things that they do with their foundation. And one day, I was sitting there looking at the news, and are you familiar with the Huffington Post? Well, I'm looking at this magazine, the online magazine, Huffington Post, and it says Kerry Wood, Father of the Year thing. And I'm thinking, what? And I start reading, and it clicks over to the MLB website, and it turns out that Kerry Wood video got picked up by Major League Baseball and was the featured video of the day for, I don't know how long, on the Major League, national MLB website. So I tracked it back, and it actually went through about 5 or 6 different places that this video was getting picked up, until I just happened to be looking at the news, and then I sent a little message to all the people on the board at that association that, wow, it looks like this video is really getting some national play. So sometimes a highly edited video can even, on a specific topic for your business, that can be something that is a special interest. And someone mentioned a minute ago about doing training and all different types of videos like that. There's manufacturing companies all the time want to do training and product overview videos for their distributors. If you can, a lot of times they may have a training program for distributors, but if you do training and overview videos and then you give those to your distributors, then when they hire new salespeople, they can be showing them those videos. You can make those videos available on YouTube, or if you don't want competitors to see those videos, they can be made private and only password accessed, or you can send them on DVDs or whatever you want to do. This setup right here is kind of a hybrid type of situation where for an edited video, you're going to storyboard your video. You're going to plan out what people are going to say. You're going to have filming. Your filming could be on different days. You may have to make a lot of arrangements. You're going to have all this video that you're then going to sit down and a professional editor is going to edit. And if you shoot a day's worth of video, you're probably going to have at least 1, 2, there's going to be several days of actual editing time. And so for a lot of applications, for example, the setup that I brought here today, we shoot with multiple cameras, and by using a television station type setup, say it's a training video or it's a product overview or whatever it is, we can have a person talking, we can switch the camera over to a product demonstration, we can switch over to having the input from a computer screen, so we can go to a company, sit down, create videos that at the end of the day, just write to a DVD and say, here. They're essentially edited. So that's a kind of a hybrid way to do things. And then, of course, you've got, we already looked at the individual ones. I'll show you this website, and then I'll actually show you one of those videos. To run. This is how a company can use video pervasively to really tell their story. Now, the Illinois Fatherhood Initiative, they're the ones that made the videos for they wanted to have those videos done for their Father of the Year. But they survive by having events and fundraising, and that's how they do their all the initiatives that they do for kids in Illinois. And see, they have events. Last year we had Smokey Robinson at an event, and that was really a lot of fun. And so as they're going and they're talking to new people and they're recruiting people to be involved in this organization, they really in the past, they would always say, our annual golf classic is incredible. It's just fantastic. And even though I'd worked with them for a long time, I never really knew how incredible it was until I went to it. When I went to it, and we're sitting there, Smokey Robinson stands up and sings, Sunshine, right there, and you're standing there, and there's all these great entertainment, there's an auction, the comedians were absolutely hilarious, and it was a great dinner. Really, the only way to share that is to film it. And so, when you, if we go and we look at the annual golf classic, and we've taken pictures and video of so many of their events this year. So that now when they're talking to someone about this, they can show them pictures or they can show them actual video. These were the honorees for Father of the Year. See if it plays on YouTube better.
Can you guys think of ideas in your business for video? It's huge. It's people love video, and it really helps out with the ranking.
So we've actually, filmed a lot of events because from a search standpoint,
Kerry Wood was selected by the Chicago Cubs in the first round of the 1995 draft, going on to win virtually all Rookie of the Year honors. Spent his first day major league season. 1,407 strikeouts for the Cubs, ranked fourth in franchise history, and he became the fastest pitcher in Major League Baseball history to reach 1,000 strikeouts.
98, he did, what was it, 25 strikeouts? 20 strikeouts or something, 21 strikeouts?
Perry has also hit 7 regular season home runs and 1 postseason.
Yep, there it was. Should have won that game too. Oh, this is so hard to watch.
Wait till
I compartmentalize that, a small part of my brain that I'll never go revert back to.
On June 30th, 2011, Kerry and Sarah are launching the Wood Family Foundation.
So one thing that's really interesting here, what happened is I tried to play the HD video on this old laptop, didn't work. I switched to YouTube to play it. This goes to show.
Is his daughter special needs? Does he have a special needs daughter?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, but
They just have a special,
stories that I could share, but the biggest one that stands out for me was in 2005 when we discovered that Kerry had a significant tear in his rotator cuff, and we were told that Kerry would never pitch again. It was inoperable, and the rehab was too extensive, and he would never come back. Most players say to themselves they're more worried about money or fame, but the first words that came out of Carrie's mouth were, "My son's never going to see me pitch." And that was when Justin was 6 months old. 2 years of hard work and dedication paid off, and his son was able to see him pitch in 2007 when he came back. And it's brought such joy to our family and to our son and our children. And every day, our kids get to get on the L and ride to Wrigley Field to watch their dad play for the Chicago Cubs. It's been a joy to watch. It's been a joy to see him as a dad. Going to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, traveling, waking up with kids climbing all over him, wanting to be with him, and never once ever saying no. It's been an amazing journey to share with you, Carrie. And you're the hero for our son, and you're the man that our daughters are going to want to marry. And I'm honored to do this with you. Congratulations. So what do we sing when Daddy's pitching? Here we go, Dad. Here we go. What do you say, Justin, when Dad's pitching? What do you scream out to him?
Awesome. Saying my life is awesome.
I like to catch with Dad, and I like to hang out in his locker, and I breakfast here sometimes. What do we do when Daddy finishes the inning? He does well. What do we do? The Daddy dance. How do you do the Daddy dance? It's like this. What's your special time with Daddy, Katie? Going to the pirate park with Daddy. My favorite thing to do with
Park?
Dad is go fishing. What do you guys catch? I usually catch a big, huge fish. Go, Cubs, go! Go, Cubs, go! You want to show them some of Daddy's dances? Yeah. How does Daddy dance?
Is this like home movies? Remember when you were a kid, you used to take home movies as your kids? A little goes a long way. I mean, if it was Burley, I'd be watching it, but this does nothing for me.
So you're not a Cubs fan now?
Oh, I can't stand it.
Well, this was, this video
Or at
was
least
before
kind of-
this, they got the dinner.
No.
It was, the original purpose was, to play at the dinner.
Yeah.
And,
We have a son that is preparing to start kindergarten, and kids that were raised family brought
Wait.
back home.
Videos that you put on your website, I mean, after a while, people do turn off from a video, so they have to be short, sweet, to the point. Does Google determine if you have a video, if it's long or short, or if it's great quality or shaky quality? Can they figure that out?
Google, as far as the length of a video, they used to only let them be not that long. And Google now wants to make money, of course. So, through YouTube. And so, they own YouTube. So, YouTube, used to be when you first had a YouTube account, anything larger than 2 gigs, which is a pretty short video in a lot of cases, would be too large. And then as we were doing business videos, they sent us an email that said, you guys can upload whatever size you want. So what they're doing is they go through and they look at the videos and they want business videos. So that's another reason why you get a higher weight. They've actually contacted us now about revenue opportunities and all this stuff because there's a million, funny videos that kids have done on their phones and goofing around, and that they don't sell a lot of ads. They can't put ads near those things. They're not on a specific topic. But if they know you, if they know your company, and when I say they, I mean this entity that is Google, the computer. This computer is constantly out there reading everything on the web, trying to figure out what every company is, following every single link. So when you have these YouTube links, if Google has gone to your Google Places and it's read it and it says, they do printing, they have a special type of laminated printing that they do vehicle signs, and then there's this, you do a YouTube video under the same company name. Google puts 2 and 2 together, and that becomes now this is a business video about putting signs on your vehicle.
Do they have a size video after so many, like how big, how many gigs can you put on? Because if they get too big, then you can't load them. I mean, so is there a restriction?
There's a restriction that it's always been 2 gigs.
It's 2 gigs, okay.
But if they like your videos, they send you an email that says we're not restricting you anymore.
So they have a site, like an FTP site to load them into? Because
YouTube.
2 gigs is huge.
Well, it depends. If 2 gigs of HD video is not very big from a lot of cameras,
Well,
depending on the format.
But to send it to somebody in an email form is huge. That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
So
Well, no, that's the whole thing.
That's why I wanted to send a link.
Yeah, with YouTube or Vimeo,
Okay.
the beauty of it is if you do your videos and you put them on YouTube, for example, you don't actually email anything. You just go to your video, you click on share, you grab the link, and you send that link. And likewise, all these videos that are on these websites, all you do is you go to YouTube, you click on the video tube, you click on share, and you grab the embed code. And you just go over here and you plop it on this page, and voila, there's your video in the regular YouTube format. So, using the videos, now that it's up there on YouTube, Google knows that. It's identified you as a company. It's identified your videos as its preferred videos because it likes things that are associated with real businessy type things. Now you're starting to have linkages around, Google, and then when other people start using that video, like when the MLB website used the Kerry Wood video. I mean, that thing had to have gotten tons and tons and tons of hits, so now there's all this traffic on that video, which is, if they use the embed code, that's actually coming off of your YouTube account. Everybody, if you let other people use your video, for example.
So if somebody watches your video, is it equivalent to a review? If somebody reviews you, is watching the video have as much strength or as a review?
There's not even Google has measurements for every one of those tiny little things, but it all adds up. It's kind of like if you have a YouTube video and it's on your site and no one's ever clicked on it. Well, Google looks at it and goes, there's not much activity at all. At least they have a video. We like that. It's proven, having a video on your homepage that's from YouTube, as long as it makes sense. I mean, you can do stupid stuff that doesn't work. But I mean, if it's your good video, doesn't violate any rules, and you've thought it through and it's part of your sales process and so forth, that is a really positive thing. If it gets a lot of views, that's helpful.
So you said homepage, you want it on your homepage, or do you just want it on your website?
You'd like to have one on your homepage because that's that's very important. When Google goes to a website, it looks right at the homepage for sure, and makes some conclusions about what's on the homepage. But you can really use these videos everywhere. When we do videos for a company, first thing we're going to do is, okay, we're going to put this on somewhere on your website. And we're not going to just put a video on for the sake of video. They want these videos to show people what their events are like when they're selling on people going to next year's events, So we put those videos up there. Now it's on these multiple pages. We post them on Facebook so that all their followers on Facebook, here's a new video we put from last year's event. Check it out, Post it on Twitter. They have a blog. We post it on their blog. So that, and it's very easy to do this. Once you start a YouTube channel for your company, when you put your videos up there, you just grab your link, you go into each of those social networking sites, and you blast it out there. It's a great way to, it could be a new product, a video on a new product.
So if you like a video or it's a product that you sell that's not necessarily your video that you made, does that help you to put other videos on your website?
Well, when you upload a video, Google reads the words and tries to figure out, it's been an initiative at Google for a long time, is to read the words it transcribes the text. Have you ever seen Google Phone or Google Voice? You can get a free, Joe mentioned it, you can get a free number through Google. It's called Google Voice. It's part of your Google account. And what I've used it for is it's a number. If it's got programmed in my phone, if I'm driving and I want to leave myself a note, I can leave myself a verbal note on there because it transcribes it and sends you an email. That's a technology that Google's been really involved in, because they've wanted to transcribe what's in videos so they can help do search. So they're actively doing that. They're transcribing the words in your video. So if your video says, brought to you by General Motors, a new Ford Fiesta, Google's going to know, well, that's the General Motors video or whatever. Someone's probably, they've used this video. But if your video is on the right topic and it's someone else's video, it's not Google's not necessarily going to see that as bad. It's whether you made it, whether it was someone else's. You just don't want to steal stuff because they have an incredible tracking of, there was a video a client gave us to put up on their website. We're uploading it on their YouTube page in order to put it on their website. In the matter of, we started uploading, and not less than 10 seconds after this thing started uploading, I got an email that says, you're uploading content which is copyrighted. They have a database of every song ever created and who owns it. And it says, this is owned by, ABC Media Entertainment Conglomerate. You can do one of three things. You can take it down. You can do this. You can ask them if you can use it. But you don't want to use stuff. That you especially don't want to use music that people just say, oh, I do it all the time. I was talking to a video company that made this video for the client, and I said, well, we really, can you guys swap out the music? They're like, oh, we do it all the time. Okay, just wait till some attorney starts they pick things and they're going to say, well, we're going to send these threatening letters. They were doing it with videos, people who download videos. They send threatening letters that says, we know you downloaded a video, pay us $5,000 and we won't sue you for 10 or 100,000 or whatever.
When you make a video for a company, is that your property or is it my property?
It's whoever contracts for the video.
Because photographers, if they take a picture, that's their property. I get that a lot of times with somebody it's their artistic property.
What if you didn't give them permission?
It's just like, when you buy a Microsoft product, you're actually licensing it. If I, as a photographer, do a photo of you and my contract states that I own it, you're just using this and you can pay for a certain number of uses of it, then that's what it is. There's a lot of standard ways to do pictures. If you say to someone, I want pictures taken and I want to own them, then someone can say, well, all right, I don't take pictures that way. Or someone will say, I do take pictures that way. Sure, you can own them. Maybe I'd like to be able to use them in my portfolio. Other photographers, that do certain types of work, say there's a sports photographer. They may want long-term to be able to sell their photo, to 10, 20 years down the road. They may, some of these baseball players are going to be, this picture's going to be worth something. I want to be able to sell these later. So they may let Sports Illustrated use their pictures. They Stringer and, Sports Illustrated, you can use these pictures, but I get the long-term rights. So it's all really, it's really the contract. What is the license that, how is the person selling something?
So the bottom line is video is key, to getting, it helps a lot. You might not even need it, and if your competitors aren't using it, it might show up first, but over time your competitors are going to figure out the video is helping their rankings as well. So you want to include video. Has everybody signed, had a chance to sign this if they want to get, I have a 7-step guide. I'll take you through each step that you need to go through with Google Places to get ranked. And it's really nice. It's got a lot of links in there. It'll make your life a lot easier. So do I have everybody's email?
So you're going to obviously going to send that to us.
Yes.
If our name and address is on there, you're going to send it over.
Through email. Do I have emails for everybody here?
Yeah.
Is that
If you
your
want me to
57
send
page
through
thing?
email, just make sure you sign before you leave here. There's one thing I want to show you. It's a company in Bolingbrook. Just want to show you 1 minute report. Kathy gave me this lead. There's a company called Pilgrim Packaging out of Bolingbrook. And inside of a month, we were able to get him first place, first on Google Places in a number of categories. I wanted to show you that real quickly.
You worked with these people?
So yeah, so what I did all the work for him as far as this to get him ranked #1 in a lot of different areas. And as soon as they come
Was
to the-
were you able to equate that with what his sales increases were?
Not yet. It's only
Okay.
he's been listed at #1 maybe last week or so.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's and his site is online, so we don't have a way of tracking it right now. This one is he has an online site, and he has a packaging business where you can buy decorative paper online, and then he's got a business that is packaging for industrial use. And so should we come up? I'll show you. So here it says decorative packing, ranked #1. Wholesale baskets, #1. Custom packaging, #1. So if somebody's doing a search in Bolingbrook for any of these products, there's a number of different packaging companies in Bolingbrook. And so this shows you, who he's competing against. Packaging Resources is one of them. U.S. Specialty Packaging is a large company. He's even competing against UPS, But so it just shows you that, within a few weeks, we were able to get him listed on things that people are searching for locally for his products and services. So by following that 7-step guide, this should help you out a lot. And what's in it for me? If you need help with any of this, I'm here to help you. I also offered a 1-hour free consultation for anybody who wants to take me up on it. I'll show you how you rank against your competition. So I show you, who's getting listed for your keywords that you should be listed for, and it'll show how many citations, how many directory listings they have, how many photos they have, how many videos they have. It'll show you all that information. So now you can figure out, well, how do I get to the top of Google? Okay. So if anybody wants to have a 1-hour consultation, just drop your card down, and I have your card as well. So anybody else, just let me know.
Cool.
That concludes it. Was it helpful for everybody? Was this helpful?
Yeah.
Very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph.
Thanks.
My pleasure.